pint glass full of beer, hit the ring and went poof, and exploded everywhere. And he was like, oh my God.
We're all in the back of a limo in New York with our heads out of the sunroof going through New York. And it's like Barney from the internet.
It is, yeah.
Drum and bass make me wind up my waist. I wish I had a talent and a hobby. You'll be blown away by the content.
Right. Welcome back. We are nearly at 1,000 subscribers. We talk about Leeds United. We're Leeds fans. Are you a Leeds fan? If you are, why not hit subscribe and like? This is the main cast. This is where we do our review of the week, if you like. We're talking about Sheffield United, KitGate as the new kit has leaked, and Man City ahead of 3 blockbuster games that we've been looking forward to ever since the fixtures were released, and a lot more, isn't it? Yeah, loads more. I'm in a really positive mood today. That's his back too. And we've got ex-Kaiser chief Nick Hodgson on the show with his new single. So, loads of reasons to stick around. Here we go.
The following podcast contains some strong language and some very average opinions.
Any references to actual people are wildly inaccurate. It's probably best if you don't listen at all.
The Roaring Peacock Podcast.
Welcome back to the Roaring Peacock Maincast. On this week's Maincast, we'll be talking about Sheffield United. We'll be looking at KitGate. We'll be looking at Man City and the 3 blockbuster games that we've got coming up in April. And there'll be stats. He's back with Get Your Stats Out for the lads. And Nick Hodgson is our guest this week, ex-Kaiser chief. But first, we've been away for a little while, 1 week. We had a week off, so the fortnight began with Calvin Phillips playing more minutes for England than any other player, us northern workhorses pulling our weight again. While KP's passing and movement was fairly progressive, Football Twitter's reaction was the opposite, and that it wasn't so fair or progressive. And Olilito came runner-up in the E-Premier League, which is important to young people. Speaking of young people...
When you said talking of young people, I thought you were going to say is Barney and Ewan for a minute. I was getting excited.
And speaking of young people, Max Dean signed his first professional contract, while Joe Gelhardt was nominated for Premier League 2 Player of the Month award after 4 goals and 1 assist in 3 starts. Elsewhere, Alfie McCalmont makes it into 2 League 2 Team of the Weeks. Leeds crashed out of the FA Youth Cup, but the under-18s came back from 3-1 down to beat Derby 4-3, giving us flashbacks of 1997. And the under-23s could win the league without kicking a ball on Friday. Catch our youth pod for more on the academy. And just when you didn't think he could sink any lower, Heckingbottom was sent back down south as Leeds beat Sheffield United in a 2-1 win, with Roberts being a decent handful for Baldock all day. It was a victory, which, if not completely comfortable, felt assured, and did the memories of Peter, Chris and Kev justice. While details of the 2021-22 kit have been leaked by Footy Headlines, all white home kit with yellow stripes instead of blue seems to be what we'll be getting. And for the third, well, let's just say, I hope you like purple. And there is a blockbuster trilogy on the horizon as we play Man City, Liverpool and Scum in the next 3. It's a run of games we've been excited for since the fixtures were released. And there has been no better time to get all 4 new signings on the pitch at the same time, even if it only was for 3 minutes. And even Adam Forshaw has returned to training for these games. Where was he when we were shit, eh? They're all coming out of the woodwork now, aren't they? And in non-Leeds related news, Arsene Wenger's offside rule will be trialled in China. If any part of your body which you can score with is in line with a defender, then you're onside. So that's us trying to search for a Chinese stream then. Watch some decent football. And fans will be allowed back for an FA Cup semi-final. To be honest, we've forgotten there was anything past the 3rd round. So that was your fortnight then. My name's Adonis, and you know me as at the Adelites on Twitter. Joining us to discuss all of this and more is Barney ____21.
Now then, mate, you all right?
I'm very well, thank you, Barney, and I trust you are the same.
I am very well, thank you.
Excellent. And Machiavelli, the gangster of deception.
It's getting more just deviant and, contrived every week. Hello there, everybody. You okay?
You and Metcalf.
Yeah, that's me.
Rightio then. Only one place to start. Paul Heckingbottom.
At the bottom. Let's start at the bottom.
Right. And work our way to the middle.
Yes. Fucking hell. Well, what can you say? I mean, great result. I didn't think we were ever in doubt of winning that game. Really assured performance. I thought we were light years ahead of them. If you look at the game we played against them in August, September, right at the start of the season, you could just look how much we've come on and how much they've potentially gone backwards. Even though it was 2-1, it could have finished the draw. They had a few chances at the end. I thought the way that we sort of dominated them, physically bullied them a bit, it could easily have been 4 or 5-1, couldn't it? The game itself. Heckingbottom's just one of them. He's just a typical bitter British manager who tried to make all kind of, comments about Brewster's shot could have made, they had a shot that was nearly on target. Great. Tyler Roberts, he's no wonder a good manager. He can't fucking see. Tyler Roberts kneed his player in the head, which he didn't. Never mentioned the fact that the kid should have been sent off.
Why was his head there?
Yeah, because he was lunging 2-footed out of control into our Tyler.
Ah, right.
So I can't listen to people like that because you can just see how their careers are going to pan out. It's just going to be sort of underachieving, mediocre, trying to make up for it in TV interviews where he makes out it's everybody else's fault and he should have done better. But I thought overall, Leeds were comfortable. It should have been 4 or 5 easily. And I think we're obviously moving in the right direction and they're going the opposite way, which I've got no love for Sheffield United. Good, fuck them. Back down in Championship. Hopefully they won't even get a Sheffield derby to, keep them happy because Wednesday will be in League One. And everyone's a winner. Hey.
Everyone's a winner, baby. That's the truth.
That little city down near London that really don't like us for some reason can get on with themselves and get back to some real rivalries, can't they?
Sounds about right. Barney, you and I were on the match review. So if anyone wants to check that out, I'll put a card up. It'll be here. So shall we move on? Or did you find anything out? Did you have any more thoughts about?
Yeah, there was one comment that he said in the interview, wasn't there? He said that the reason why Leeds were bringing on subs is because they couldn't manage our tackling or something like that. I just thought that's just typical Heckingbottom. Doesn't have a fucking clue what he's on about. He's a dick, isn't he? He's a dick. That's it. That's my insight to it.
Right.
There you go.
Couldn't handle his tackling. Rafinha sat half his team on their ass throughout the game.
Yeah.
Just with his pure body, his movement and his balance, just sitting people down. Or get us a packet of crisps on your way back from shop, mate. Put some salt on mine, kid.
There's a scene in Wolf of Wall Street where he's trying to get back to his car. Yeah.
I thought it was quite funny as well where, our players look so thin and so toned and their players just look like Sunday League players, just really small and squat and just massive, just like...
And ugly as well.
Yeah, ugly. They look like a Championship side, don't they, where they belong in the bottom 3. And probably, to be honest, I think they'll get relegated next season anyway because they'll be skint and everyone's sold and they're having to pay Ollie McBurney's massive wage in the Championship. Lovely stuff.
Yeah, what is it? It'll be like South Yorkshire Amateur Division League 2 or something, won't it? And they'll finally have found their level. Okay. KitGate then.
Barney, I'll let you start while I
let's start with
try to compose myself.
Barney.
And us Leeds fans are real traditionalists with our kits and how we want our kits. It should be white and yellow or blue. But times have changed. And in the Premier League, unfortunately, a lot of people will end up supporting the club in the Premier League because they've got a decent kit. So the third, if that's going to be the third kit, the lilac colour, so be it. We're still going to hopefully have a traditional white, yellow, blue kit for home and away. I mean, I'm the one who bought the maroon kit this season because I thought it's a little bit different.
The only one.
Well, last season, the grey one, everyone thought that was shit. Ended up being the top selling shirt in history. And also it's got, I think also as well, kits have got a memory as well. So obviously last season, Pablo scored that goal against Swansea, taking that grey kit off as well. So a lot of times the kits are linked to some sort of memory as well. So
Are you making stats up again? That was the greatest selling shirt in history.
it was in Leeds history.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I know it was a good seller, but that's astounding.
You're starting this, guys.
I'll wait for stats to come on. I'll ask him that one. Yeah, go on. Have you finished?
Yeah.
Good. Right. And then I'll begin.
So I go back to tea.
Yeah, you go put a kettle on. I may be some time.
Christ, this is going to be an edit.
Listen, no, well, I've got two stools of thought on this, right? Am I Leeds United, Angus Kinnear and Adidas's target?
Sorry, did you say stools of thought?
Schools of thought.
Schools of thought. Okay. Sorry.
I'm in between two stools or a school of thought. I know it's Barney. I don't want to I've got to bring it up now. You've done it, right? But Barney the other week said we went head to toe with him, and I always thought it was either head to head,
or toe to toe.
Head to toes when you sleep in a bed with somebody and it's a really small bed and you have to go top and tail.
Got all 69 on it.
Yeah, you knew what was on his mind. He was 69 all the way, wasn't he? He's looking at that shirt behind you, thinking 69.
Yeah,
head to toe.
Barney's sexy contributions trademark.
Yes. There you go. He slips one in there. I'm started now. Look, he slips one in every week.
There you go. Okay, Ewan.
KitGate. Sorry.
KitGate.
I digress. Only because I don't want to get to this. Am I Leeds United's target audience for kits? No. Does Angus Kinnear, Leeds United and Adidas care about what I think? No. This is very clear. Do I think a concept kit's a good idea? Yes. Do I believe that you could have a concept kit that tipped its hat to tradition and to some of the colourways or schemes that we've had before? Yeah, I do. If they want to go mental and do a bloody maroon or burgundy or Merlot kit or a lilac or whatever it is, absolutely. Yeah, bus seat, pink and green, whatever. Do what you want, but fucking make the first kit proper. You know, the one that's leaked, whether it's real or not, yellow, the one with the why yellow stripes on a white kit? I mean, come on. You know, if you're gonna completely throw tradition in the bin on the third kit, at least make the first two bloody brilliant and really traditional. You know, just plain white. You know, not yellow stripes on the fucking shoulder, epaulette on the shoulder. It's like, no, you're all right, thanks. And again, even if you're gonna do a concept kit, lilac. No fucker looks good in lilac.
Nobody. Not even Prince looked good in lilac.
Exactly. Even Vivienne Westwood can't get away with lilac. I mean, come on.
I think I could do it. I've got quite dark colouring, so I think I could pull it off quite easily.
You're not darker than Prince, Barney.
You're going to say I think Prince was a bit darker than you.
There's actually a thing where you can actually, it's what you call colourize. So you know what your colours are. So there's a website where you put your colours in, what colour skin you've got on your eyes and stuff like that. Then it'll tell you what colours would go best with you.
Somebody's earning a pretty penny off that. They're fucking laughing all the way to the bank there.
Yeah, I did it. It came out all black. Apparently it's slimming and I wear black on the outside because black is how I feel on the inside.
I'll tell you what I would have liked. White stripes. White on white. All white.
No stripes.
White
is
out.
Fine. Just plain.
Well, that would have looked cool.
A nice navy, something navy, like the yellow and, the sort of I always think of it as like Brian Dean, sort of the green and blue stripes that we've had this year, or the yellow and blue stripes that we had many moons ago. Noel Whelan time. I'm trying to think of a player that sort of stood out in that kit.
Brian Dean.
Yeah, Brian Dean again. He must have really liked. Brian Dean must have done that colour check, Barney, and they all suited him. I bet he don't look good in lilac. Goes with his eyes, Brian. But yeah, I just don't get it. I think there's loads of other things you could do. Go mad with the patterns. Even that burgundy kit, the bloody pixelated pattern on the backing of it's shit. So it's like just always seem to have to go one step too far in my book. So I'm never going to be a fan. Do they care? No. Have I bought a top for years? No, I don't never buy tops. I buy shorts and socks to play a five-a-side in. I can't remember last time I bought a top. My 30th birthday, somebody bought me one with 30 on the back of it. Wore it twice. I just don't wear tops. Tops are for players, so and for kids, and they're the people who are aiming it at the kids and new fans and people who don't really care about tradition. I don't imagine. They just, I like that kit. It looks good. So I've just wasted 5 minutes of your life. You'll never get back talking about kit. Nobody gives a fuck what I think. I'm not taking into account.
And I'm you and Metcalf, and fuck this. I fucking hate podcasts as well.
I'm off.
I'll let you into a little secret though. I actually bought that bus seat shirt as well.
Yeah,
I actually quite like that one.
You're just fucking encouraging them, Barney. That's the problem. It's people like you. If you stopped buying them, they'd make a decent kit. Everybody could love. But my kids have got them all. My kids have got the bus seat. They've got the. I'll tell you the one I really liked recently. I love the green and blue stripe from this year. Superb. I mean, both my kids have got that. But they did season before promotion season. The light blue.
Yeah,
I love that. So I'm not like just against any kit that's not white, yellow, dark blue or yellow, but I really love that kit. So it's just horses for courses. But my kids have got them all, Barney, and that's the thing. They're the audience that concept kit will be aimed at. But even a mad sort of Ralph Lauren camouflage job like I'm scouting, you know what I mean?
That'd be all right, actually.
Yeah, get one of them boys on.
Yeah, why not? With some white stripes.
Some white stripes on it. I don't know. Get it on.
Yeah, why not?
It's like those two-stripe shirts you used to get off Otley Market that used to be try to be Adidas, something like that, something a bit different.
The LA Ice.
Yeah. One of that dog as well on the front smoking like a spliff. What was that? Do you remember that? No. Must have been just me.
It's you people with a bloody bloodline to Otley. You go to the Otley Market and find this shit.
Captain Value.
That's all, yeah. Great place, Captain Value.
In fact, remember the Nike Cagoule? It was all the rage when I was at school. I was about 12 or 13. The Nike sort of jacket with the hood, and it was like a Cagoule. It was all the rage, like early 80s. And my mate came to school. He was from not so sort of nice part of Leeds, and we all had them. I had one in grey and dark grey and light grey at the top, and then light blue and dark blue. And he come with it, and he's like, swaggered into school. I was like, right. And it saw straight away as soon as you got close, it had Nick's written on it. It was a Nick's Cagoule. It's like, bless you, man.
Yeah. Poppers. They were the ones. There's a tracky pants with poppers all the way down. And
they're back in as well. I actually saw someone the other day wearing them. And I said to my wife, do you remember those poppers? She just looked at me like they were the rage then.
Yeah. With your Tamagotchi.
Yeah.
We used to get like fake Oakleys as well from Greece when you were on holiday, and
yeah.
Those were the days, weren't they? God,
could tell you a lot younger than me. Tamagotchi.
Yeah.
I remember when shell suits first came out, and I was going on a Cub Scouts trip, and underneath the letter saying what you can bring, it said, "Please do not bring your shell suit." Because if you went anywhere near a flame, you'll be up straight away, wouldn't you? Literally up.
Yeah.
We should have had more shell suits in the second division then. We'd have been up straight away. Okay, knock on the door. Here comes Stats. Get your stats out, lads.
Evening.
All right, Stats.
Right, Stats.
I've got my headphones in.
Statsy.
I can hear you loud and clear. I've got my mic.
Is that your way of telling me to shut up?
No.
Yeah.
Would I do such a
Definitely.
I can hear you
definitely.
loud and clear.
Beard's grown back.
Yeah, very nice.
It's an astonishing beard. That. Why didn't you just transplant some of that onto my head?
Do you need it, Ewan?
Yeah.
I need a
Grows
haircut, I'll tell
grows
you.
that quick, I'd be laughing.
Stats Hair Studio.
Something like that.
Were you Chris? I thought you were Christian Stats. Is your name Andrew Dalton?
Yes.
All right. Genuinely thought your first name was Stats.
Yeah, I'll change it by default.
Yeah.
Change it by default.
Get that. You could put that as your middle name.
I
Andrew
probably should,
Stats
actually.
Dalton. You can call your firstborn Stats.
Say again?
Stats Dalton.
That's Dalton.
Yeah.
Sounds good. It's got a ring to it.
I'm second one in the family because my sister's firstborn.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Well, there you go.
All right, Stats.
Yes.
Paul Heckingbottom's Sheffield United trademark. 2-1. You got some
Yes.
stats for that?
Well, before I start with the stats, I had to laugh at his comment that he said that we're trying to make subs to unsettle us.
Right.
Come on, Paul.
Yeah.
You've been in the game long enough, man. The stats that I came up with, it was our sixth. Phil Jagielka scored our 6,900th goal in all competitions.
There's your 69 again, Barney.
Hey.
We won't go
Barney's
there.
69.
What else did I come up with? It was also, and you'll like this, Marcelo Bielsa's 69th victory as Leeds United head coach.
Whoa!
Wow.
Another 69, Barney, head to
I
toe.
can't believe it. We just read the tea leaves before we came on here. We just done a big piece on 69s.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
And finally,
Choose your words there, Ewan.
I don't. You know me. I don't. Straight in there. Whoop.
Phil Jagielka, who scored the own goal. It was our first own goal in the Premier League at Ellen Road since William Gallas back in December 2002 when Leeds beat Chelsea by 2-0 on a day that James Milner got the Whites' first goal.
William Gallas. There's a name I haven't heard
Yeah.
Yeah.
in
So
a
that was
lifetime.
the Sheffield United stats review.
Okay, very nice.
When was the last time we did a double over Sheffield United stats?
91-92, we won the league.
Of course, yeah.
When we were 4-3 at Allen Road in a game we were 4-0 up and cruising. And then that famous day on April 26th, 92 at Bramall Lane when we won 3-2, Brian Gale.
Incidentally, another own goal.
Another own
Another own goal. Another own goal.
There you go.
Good segue. And Liverpool did us a huge favour by beating that lot at Anfield, and the rest, as they say, is history.
It was an interesting move, that one from Brian Gale.
Yes.
It was a bit, you know what? Yeboah versus Wimbledon before the strike. It was a bit like that, wasn't it?
Yeah. He let your knees it up, he shoulders
keep it up,
and then he heads it past. Sadly, Mel Reese is no longer with us. He passed away from cancer, age only 26. He was in goal for Sheffield United that day. But yeah, crazy game, and there were deflections everywhere. You look at Lee Chapman's own goal that day at Bramall Lane. John Pemberton, obviously soon to join Leeds, shot from a corner, and Chappie Davids into his own net. Just a bonkers day and a bonkers season that ended up in triumph for Howard Wilkinson's Leeds. And I will come to one of the stats for the Manchester City game regarding that season very shortly.
Okay. Very briefly, Stats. What's your opinion on a lilac kit?
Do you know what? And I was talking to Emma about this. Emma loves the colour purple. I think it'll grow on me. I think
the film.
Hey, I won't go there.
Not the kit.
Surely
not the kit.
I think the point of a third kit is when the home and away kit clashes. Although this year we have worn the third kit, the burgundy or maroon kit a few times. So yeah, I want to see a yellow away kit because we're traditionalists. Leeds United's colours are white, yellow and blue. So yeah, I think it'll grow on me. And if that is supposed to be the kit, I don't know how many times I'll wear it, how many times the white and the white home shirt and the whatever colour the away shirt will clash, but it's there to do a job as a third kit, and I will bring out some third kit stats as and when it is released, whenever it's released, basically.
It is there to do a job stats, and I'm starting to wonder if it's to piss me right off.
You're not bad.
No, mate, not at all.
It's that look. Third kit's just there because they need a third kit, and as I say, see how many times it gets worn. Like the yellow and blue shirt, I think if you remember, that made its debut at West Brom a couple of seasons ago, wasn't worn on that many occasions. But then again, the bus driver's kit, or whatever you want to call it, that season, which didn't go down too well, wasn't worn that often either. So it's just there if there's a third clash. But what seems to me about the kits is that in 16-17, I don't know if Gary Monk actually said this, if you remember the all yellow away shirt, we hardly wore it as a full kit combo. I think we wore it 3 times at QPR when we lost on the opening of the season 3-0, 2-0 when we lost at Brighton, and then on the final day of the season at Wigan. So Gary Monk must have had this thing where he didn't like that all yellow kit. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the reaction is if it is to be bought out, really.
Fair enough. And on to Man City then. The first of a blockbuster trilogy.
Yes, a trilogy.
Of games.
Yes, and I'll start, and I'll get this one out of the way. I did say this on social media. On Saturday, there's a big horse race taking place. It is the Grand National. Now, the last time Leeds United met Manchester City on the same Saturday away from home on the Grand National was April the 4th, 1992. Party politics won the Grand National, and it looked like Leeds United had fallen at the final furlong. Please excuse the puns. I know they're terrible. With a 4-0 defeat at Main Road from goals from Andy Hill, I think I said Andy Hill, Mike Sharon, Niall Quinn and Mark Brennan. And it looked like then that the title had gone. But thankfully, the team from the other side of Manchester blew up completely. Remember them, I think they lost 3 games in a week. I think they lost to Nottingham Forest, 2-1 at Old Trafford. I think Scott Gemmell scored. They then lost 1-0 at West Ham. Kenny Brown scored. And they lost at Anfield when Matt Walter scored the second and obviously handed Leeds a title. So if Leeds were to lose 4-0, then we're not going to win the title. But yeah, that's one to get out of the way very early on.
Okay. Any other stats for Man City?
I've come up with a few. Liam Cooper and Stuart Dallas are now tied on 221 appearances for the club. I have just tweeted that Coops has captained the side 170 times, which is outstanding, to tell you the truth. I think only 5 players have captained the side more.
Really?
Billy Bremner has, Jim Baker has, Gary McAllister has. So there's some real big names in there. Billy, of course, as well, on top of that list.
Radaby near there, or?
Say again?
Strachan, Radaby?
Strachan's actually 6th in the list, because Strachan was captain. He wasn't on the field captain at the start of the 92-93 season. Gary McAllister took over the captaincy because Leeds obviously bought David Rocastle, God rest his soul. Obviously, it came up to the 20th anniversary the other week of his sad passing. And McAllister took on the on-field duties and took on the captaincy even when Strachan was playing. So, yeah, some real big names in there. And should either Liam Cooper and Stuart Dallas, I expect them both to play, they will move on to 222 appearances, just outside the top 50 and level with Joe Jordan. The Yorkshire Pearlo, Calvin Phillips, is on 204 appearances for the club. He needs 1 more to move on to 205 appearances, and that'll put him 61st in the all-time list of Leeds United appearance makers. It's amazing, all these players, the longevity they've had at the club, at the one club, to make so many appearances together. Rodrigo, who scored Leeds' goal against Manchester City at Ellen Road, and what was a brilliant performance, certainly in the second half of that game. If he was to score at the Etihad, he will join Mark Viduka, Brian Dean, Alan Clark, Pete Lorimer and Arthur Buckley, named there from the past, to score in both games against Manchester City. We'll also be looking to make it unbeaten in the Premier League over 2 games against Man City in 93-4. We drew 1-1 on the opening day of the season. Brian Dean scored, and won 3-2 at Ellen Road. Brian Dean scored the winner. 94-5 in a game, Noel Whelan scored both goals at Ellen Road and drew 0-0 at Main Road. And funnily enough, in 03-4, we got relegated. We drew 1-1 at the Etihad in our first ever visit there. And what was strange about that game is Eddie Gray was in charge. He was caretaker. Was actually at a family wedding that day. So Kevin Blackwell took charge, and he was caretaker to the caretaker. So we drew 1-1 at the Etihad, and we won 2-1 at Ellen Road. Stephen McPhail and Mark Viduka scored. And the thing with that game was that it was Gerald Krasner's first game in charge as Leeds United chairman. And finally, the last one.
Let's not remind ourselves.
Oh,
yes,
God.
absolutely. You have to go back to 2014-15 to find the last time Leeds visited a side who were league leaders at the time. And I take this after 10 games because that's when the league table can take shape. For the last time Leeds won at the league leaders after 10 games, that was Middlesbrough. And that was a 1-0 victory in February 2015. Alex Mowat scored. And that day, Marco Silvestri had one hell of a game to keep Middlesbrough at bay. So, yeah, plenty to work on. It'll be a tough game for the Whites. I know City are playing in the Champions League this week against Dortmund. So you say that the rest half a team, they still have an unbelievable second team out. So it'll be a tough game, but it's one that Leeds can go there and enjoy.
All right, so that's and just enough time for What's Your Thing?
What's my thing? Now, by the time this will go out, my wonderful mother, hello mother, will be celebrating her 65th birthday. So thankfully now...
Happy birthday, Stats Mum. Happy birthday, Stats Mum.
So we're thankfully restrictions of visa. I can go and see her and sit in the garden, providing the weather's nice. So yeah, looking forward to celebrating with the family. And also it's of course a Grand National. Please gamble responsibly, or please don't gamble at all, whichever you prefer. It's strange, the Grand National this year, because it's one of those big sporting events, especially once you get the fans involved. At Aintree, it's always been something I've wanted to go to just to say I've been there. You get everybody involved. Now, this year's very different because there's no crowds, obviously, at sporting events, but it's always a highlight of the sporting calendar for me as well. So, yeah.
Have you seen the photos of very rich people passed out in the middle of a muddy field?
Yes.
I don't know why you'd want to go to that stuff.
It's funny because I want to do that. I want to go to Silverstone and I want to go to Monaco Grand Prix just to say I've done that. I've been to Wimbledon, which is unbelievable. I've been to the Crucible, which is really good atmosphere, and it's just kind of. And I've done the open golf at Livingston Sands. So to try and get to the Grand National at cost a fortune one day would be just a tick list, really.
Okay.
So if you want to see really rich people passed out in a muddy field, just got Harrogate stats.
Hey, absolutely. You're not wrong, buddy. You're not wrong.
Get yourself on stray when the outside drinking starts.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
All right, mate.
Super.
So only one thing left to say.
Stat show, folks.
Thanks,
Cheers,
Stats.
Many happy returns to Miss.
See you soon,
Many happy
mate.
returns to your mum, mate.
Bye-bye.
Many happy returns to your mum, mate.
Thank you. Take care.
Cheers, man.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Stats. There he was.
It's hard to take how he remembers it all is a pure miracle because it's hard to just take it all in when you're listening to him, never mind know it all and memorize it, bit by bit. I tell you what I've got to say, Cooper, amazing. Who would have thought in the early stages of his career at Leeds, I was really friendly with a guy at Chesterfield, quite a guy who's been there for years, and rated him when he came from Chesterfield and told me about all the sell-on clauses he had. I thought, he won't be going for any more money because he's not that good and, And I wasn't being disrespectful, just what I saw on the pitch week to week. Who'd have thought then that we'd have a player, a captain, a leader, and a kind of a player that's gone on to get, what did he say, fifth most as captain.
Yeah.
Appearances as captain. I mean, incredible. What that's a testament to the lad, isn't it? That he's come on that much and just continue to learn and progress and not listen to the people who groaned every time he got the ball or made a mistake at Ellen Road. He's risen up above it, hasn't he? And he's excelled under Bielsa, probably more than anybody else, I would probably say.
Yep. Another player written off by a large portion of the fan base that has proved all of his critics wrong. Okay, we now have another knock on the door, and it's Nick Hodgson.
Hello.
Hi, mate.
Hi,
Hey,
Nick.
mate.
How are you doing?
Good, mate.
Very good. So Nick was part of the Kaiser Chiefs from 2003 to 2012, drummer and main backing vocalist.
Yeah.
And now you've been flying free as a bird solo ever since?
Oh, no, I don't do solo very often. Solo is I don't know, it's just a little, a little side thing.
Okay.
We've all got one of them, Nick, don't we?
Yeah.
We're not allowed to talk about ours, but
Don't tell the wife.
How are you all, chaps?
bloody marvellous, thanks.
Great.
Very good.
I'm fantastic. I'm alive. Another day on beautiful planet Earth.
Yeah, it's been snowing here.
Where are you, Nick?
I'm
Where
in
are you based?
London.
Oh, okay.
I live in Arsenal territory, so my goal of the season is to to finish above Arsenal.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That's all I want.
Right.
And it's amazing that I can actually say that and think, yeah, of course we can.
How have you experienced the season so far? What do you think of Leeds back in the Premier League?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just magnificent. And I always, well, not always, but every so often I think to myself, I'll have a look at the championship table and just think, oh, we'd have to do that. I used to spend hours like looking at the table, working out how we might go up, what might happen if this happens and that happens. And it's such a brilliant thing. I mean, sometimes if you ever think you're bored of the Premier League, just have a look at the championship and just think we could be playing Rotherham next week.
Yeah.
Especially this season when you look at the championship table and some of the teams that we thought were our massive rivals are really struggling. And then it looks like Brentford are going to go into the playoffs again and they're never winning the playoffs, which is a marvellous thing to see as well.
I actually want Pontus to get into the Premier League for some reason. That's what I want. Don't ask me why. Well, I mean, I look
at the championship a lot, Nick, but it's just to laugh at Sheffield Wednesday and Derby a lot.
Yeah. And then it's going to be Sheffield United as well. I mean, it's great.
I mean, speaking of the championship, what a difference it is from the Easter we had a couple of seasons ago. That was stuff of nightmares. Talking about looking at clubs and what could have happened. Wigan going down to 10 Meadows, getting a penalty and still losing.
Sometimes I think I miss the peril of previous seasons because I was watching the game on Saturday and I was a bit like, I'm almost not half watching it, but I'm not, my whole body and soul isn't invested in it. And then I think of Wigan away. Well, no, was it Wigan at home?
Yeah.
10 men.
Wigan at home.
Yeah.
And we were 1-0 up. Then they went 10 men. Then it was 2-1 and it was devastating.
I think that's one of the big things. Like when you were playing in the championship, every single game meant something. If you lost that game, that was like the end of the world. Well, we're going to get relegated. We're not going to do this. All our players are going to get sold. But now, like if you lose a game in the Premier League in the first season, you think, actually, it's not that bad. We've lost against a team that is worth £1 billion, and it's not too bad. Rather than playing a team that Wigan 10 men wear their skin. So it's perspective sometimes.
Because we had to finish, we couldn't have done the playoffs again. We had to finish top or second. And to think about what we could have lost, we could have, who knows about Bielsa, but we could have lost Bielsa. We could have lost, we would have lost Phillips and all loads of things. And it was all really hanging in the balance, the whole thing.
Potentially, yeah. Okay, Nick.
Hi.
Hello. Tell us about your new single, your new project, because the new single seems like quite a bit different to the last album. I like making music. What I normally do is I write with other people and I produce bands and other things and other artists and stuff. And obviously this has been a bit of a weird time, the old pandemic. And there hasn't been that much of that, especially working with bands. I like going into studios and working with bands in studios, but that hasn't been happening. So I just get frustrated. I play music every day. I played this, and I just was for a couple of days before I wrote that song. I had no intention of doing anything, by the way, putting out a record or anything. And I just was playing really fast. I was going on the drums and hitting the drums fast. And I kept listening to Nirvana and the Ramones, and I really wanted to express how I was feeling, which was
I want to get out and do something. And so music is a brilliant thing you can do. You can just really express yourself. So I played this guitar riff. It was really fast. It's got that kind of old school punk like atmosphere to it. And I just built it really fast. I just had the guitar, and then I did the bass, and then I did the drums, and I didn't have any vocals to go on it. I just sang them in this microphone here. I sang them, and pretty much what I sang on that first take, even though I hadn't written it down, most of that's on the record that you can hear now. It was a really, so I just thought, well, I have to just stick it out. Why not? And I wrote it 2 weeks ago. Actually, it was 3 weeks now, and it's been out for half a week. So you can tell how fast it is. And I don't know why I did it, but I do things like that. I tend not to think too hard, or else I'll just not do it.
And sometimes some of the best songs come out that way as well, don't they? Where there's no sort of, I need to change that, I need to change this.
Yeah. And it's a world of hurt, the old changing things. So when I did a solo album, I did that pretty quick. But what I did was spend days and weeks on songs, and I just didn't want to do that. It's fun.
I wish I had a talent and a hobby. That'd be great.
Everyone's got a talent. Everyone's got a talent. Not everyone's got a hobby.
Yeah, well, my missus keeps saying that drinking isn't a hobby.
Is it a talent? Is it?
Oh yeah, definitely, mate. But not one that I can brag about. And
how has it been going? Your talent? How have you been developing your talent during lockdown? Has it been?
What, my drinking?
Yeah,
I'm even better at it now than I was before. So every cloud, Nick, every cloud.
What was that match review that we did where you were slosh?
It was Fulham when we beat Fulham.
Right.
Adonis rung me literally 10 minutes before, Nick, and said, "Oh, can you jump on the podcast?" And I'd not expected it. I don't usually have a drink when I'm doing it, and I have some professionalism about me, not much. And I've been drinking all evening, and I went on, and at one point we had our socks off, spinning around singing "Socks Off If You Won in London." And
okay, yeah, good. It's like
I nearly got divorced, but hey,
you've got to express yourself, haven't you?
Exactly, mate. You know that better than anybody.
That's how it works.
I listen to music a lot, so that does help me. If it's helped me massively, new music coming out via or through lockdown, through the pandemic. So music's a brilliant catalyst for, again, expressing yourself and helping others, I guess, to cope as well. So it must be nice for you to do that.
I'd love to play with some other people.
I know, yeah.
I am lucky that I've got a studio here and I can work and make music and stuff. So that's good.
Have you got any live stuff planned?
No, nothing. Nothing at all. I did a tour. I did the album. I did a tour. I really enjoyed it, and then had a baby, and then things changed. So there was no more touring after that. And so baby is now 2.5. So I'd do some more touring. I wouldn't do it straight away. I think I'll let more professional people have a go before I get back on it. I might do something next year. I love doing gigs. Like I did a gig in February 2020, and it was a small room. There was like 200 people there, and everyone was just crammed in. And it was February 2020, so we were in lockdown a month later, and no one was talking about washing your hands, standing away from each other, being, not near each other. I was at Ellen Road as well I can't remember when it was. It was beginning of March, like 6th, 7th, 8th or something of March.
Huddersfield? No?
It was Huddersfield, yeah.
Yeah.
And people were starting to do that joke, let's do elbowing instead of handshake. And everyone was laughing. I was in the Wetherspoons in Leeds, in the train station, and it was, you squeezing through everyone. But everyone was talking about coronavirus.
Yeah.
But still squeezing through each other in the pub. It was weird.
Yeah, it was. My last gig was actually in February as well. It was the O2 in Leeds. It went to go see a ska band called the Interrupters. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I think I've heard of them, yeah.
And it was weird. Just the Interrupters, fantastic band.
All right.
It's
That's
female.
what I was doing.
Very good.
Terrible.
And there was no talk of that. It was just, and then now there's talk about a vaccine passport, and you're going to have less people in that venue.
What a world.
I mean, what's your thoughts on that as an artist, where people will maybe have to have a vaccine passport, and that there's going to be less people in that venue as well?
Well, it's the same with football as well. I mean, what do we think of that? If you go to I'd like to go to a football match, and I'd like to go to a gig. If I had to get a passport, I'd probably get one because I want to do that. You're not going to be over the moon about it. I don't know really, but I'd do it. I'd definitely get vaccinated. And I mean, it's just so odd that we are talking about it, isn't it odd? And it's because you don't really talk about, because I live with my wife and my two-year-old daughter, having conversations like this. So it's weird when you're actually chatting about it, and it really reveals how crazy it is.
I'm curious, Nick, have you ever, because you wrote that song very spontaneously.
Yeah.
Did you ever write a song about Leeds United, or?
Well, there's a song actually called "Good Days, Bad Days" by Kaiser Chiefs, which was about so the good days was it was kind of loosely about losing to Doncaster in the playoff final. So the day before that, we played at Ellen Road, which was awesome, and then the next day it was still a good day, but it was also terrible. So good days, bad days.
Okay.
And sorry.
You wrote that one. Did you write? Were you the main writer in Kaiser Chiefs?
Yeah, I would write the beginnings of songs. So I would come in with the beginnings, and hopefully I would go in with a verse and a chorus, and maybe not all the words of the verses, and then things would just build in the rehearsal room. That's how it used to work.
So I do that. I write a verse and a chorus, and then, or two verses and a chorus, and then I get kind of tired of it, and then I start questioning myself. And I think that's why it's good to have a band, isn't it? Have you found that a challenge when you've sort of gone off on your own?
I always like people to listen to things. So if I write something, I need someone to listen to it straight away. So my advice to anyone is play it to someone, and it doesn't matter who it is, because as soon as you press play on it, you will know in your heart whether it's any good or not. There was a famous Noel Gallagher thing where he had the first album finished, what he thought was mixed, and he played it to Alan McGee. He says, "Listen to this, it's going to blow your head off." And he pressed play, and he suddenly, as soon as he heard it out of Alan McGee's speakers, he was like, "That it's crap." and they went in, and he didn't need anybody else to tell him. And they went and did it again. So, you've got to, if you're solo or whatever, you've just got to keep bouncing your ideas off people, I think.
Okay. You've got a podcast now.
Yeah.
How's that?
It's fun. It keeps you busy.
Yeah, we started one too.
Just to stop me drinking.
Yeah.
Didn't work, did it?
Well, sort of.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
How often is yours out? Once a week?
Oh God.
Is it?
Or you wish.
No. So previews, reviews. There's a main cast.
So you're talking more than once? Is it?
Oh yeah. Previews of the match, and then a review of the match. Main cast. So that's all. That's 3 per week if you just have one game in the week. And then there's a youth pod.
Oh, you're just making work for yourself now.
So basically, Donny is like a Bielsa. He's the murder ball of podcasts. Basically.
And I'm murdering myself.
More!
Right.
All the time.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
None of us have got injured yet, though, have they?
Mine are out every 2 weeks. Because I haven't got a subject if I had, with, I was listening to that Football Daily as well. I mean, that comes out daily. And if you've got a topic like that, it can really, you've got a lot to talk about. But I've got to search for my guests, and it takes a while actually. And Yeah, it's good, and I'm always thinking about it, which is good actually. I need something to do like that when you're not doing your normal thing. The podcast keeps you going.
You've had some great guests on your podcast as well. What's it called for our listeners?
The podcast is called "Do You Know How Many Bands There Are?"
Okay.
Do you know how many bands there are? And it's because people used to say to me, not always, but it was a thing that people used to say. Like if you said to, I don't know, your dad's friend, and he'd go like, "What do you want to do when you grow up?" And you went, "I want to be in a band." "Oh yeah, do you know how many bands there are?" Yeah, like,
yeah.
I don't care really. I don't care.
But
there's always these stats, isn't there? So if you listened to a new song every second for the rest of your life, you'd never listen to all the music.
Yeah, I mean, go on, sorry.
So you started interviewing some like bands from years ago where I was like, oh God, I remember going to watch them, and you completely forgot about them. And you start listening to some of the songs again, which is quite good because you had Preston on, didn't you?
Yeah, that was really funny.
Yeah.
He's a funny person. Yeah, I'm starting to have to expand the gene pool because these are all my friends really, and I've got to find new people. It's not that easy. Got the Charlatans coming up actually. Charlatans episode is on this week, Thursday.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. You got the Charlatans on.
Yeah.
The only.
What, you're going to finish that?
No, I should probably. I'm a bit scared of doing that because then don't you get like a copyright infringement notice in your letterbox?
I had to look that up actually when I was doing the podcast because I wanted to put songs in. If we're talking about songs, I wanted to put like famous songs into the podcast, and then I found out you really can't do it, and there's no way of doing it unless you get permission from every record label and publisher for every song you use. And I did it once where I tried to get in touch with the record label for someone. Oh, it happened to be Rihanna. So that was the first one. The first episode's got a Rihanna song in it, and we're still waiting to hear back. And that episode's been out a few weeks. So, so you do it on Spotify. There's the way of doing it on Spotify that you can have the songs as well.
We can play your song, right?
No. Oh, my new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. So we'll play that at the good because I already said every word I think.
Yeah, you can definitely play that one.
Yeah.
The others you'd have to ask whoever wrote them with me.
Right.
So it works. And
you need to write letters. You need written permission, don't you?
I don't know. Email would do it.
To get the quill out.
You could just be our go-to man, Nick. Now we'll just ask you. We'll ring you and go, Nick. Can you ask? You ask the Charlatans if we can play a couple of their songs this week.
Can you get in touch with Sony for us, Nick?
I thought you were going to say I could write you a new one for it.
Yeah.
Hey, Nick, can you write us a song?
You're making work for yourself, Nick. We like you.
Yeah,
you sound like us.
But who actually out there watching stuff and listening to stuff? Oh, that's not their song, right? Get them off.
Yeah,
I need to send them a letter.
I think it's bots, isn't it? It's bots.
Oh, is it? Right. I don't know how it works, to be honest.
They've got factories somewhere of little robots.
I think it's snitches.
Right.
And so my father-in-law was in the London Symphonic. I always call it the LSO. London Symphony Orchestra, yeah.
The
London Symphony Orchestra, and he's cool. He played on all Star Wars and everything. It was amazing. But they have there's fans of the LSO who can recognize that this particular piece. Let's say it's a Beethoven piece. There's people who recognize how the LSO sound and will inform the people who need informing, that their version is being played on something. So it snitches you.
There's always someone out there like that, isn't there?
There isn't there? Yeah, I bet they're COVID police nowadays, aren't they?
It's like that program You Bet. Do you remember that? That was amazing.
Yeah.
Do you want to bet on it? You bet.
It was amazing. So
it's amazing that stitching has become like a corporate industry almost.
Yeah.
I remember watching You Bet once on Saturday night when I was a kid. And it was like some outrageous things these people would do. And there was one where a woman came on, and basically there was a candle next to a speaker, and they had to play the music mute, so they couldn't hear the music. And by the beat of the sound on the candle, they could guess which song it was.
That's amazing.
That's something you would do in lockdown, actually.
That classic one where the guy could recognize the make and model of a car just by the door closing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring that back. That is that
Great
good telly
TV.
nowadays? I don't know. There's not enough.
It'd go viral, I think, is the phrase
it
you're looking
would.
for. Nick.
It would, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how the people at home would vote, because that's like an important part of it these days.
TikTok, isn't it? It'd be a
What?
TikTok series
Actually,
with
it would.
the candle in the wind.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, Nick? Have
Yeah.
you ever been in the Leeds Arena for a Josh Warrington fight when they play I Predict a Riot?
Oh my God! I'll tell you this, right? I've heard about it a lot. So I went to see, I think it must have been his last fight, and I was there with some friends. I think it was my birthday actually, and I had a load of people, and I was so ready for it. And this is true. The CD player, whatever it was, completely failed. I heard the first bar or something, and then it stopped, and it popped back in again, and then they just gave up.
Oh no!
And so
They should have said, "Does anybody in the audience
Yeah.
can
Knock
do a
this out.
rendition of this song?"
Well, Chilino apparently Chilino was at a fight, and he saw this, and he was like, "What is this song?" And someone said it's I Predict a Riot by the Kaiser Chiefs, and he said, "Okay, we want to start coming out to this." And then apparently they wouldn't allow it. Someone wouldn't allow it, and but now it is on at Ellen Road, which is good. What's it like at the fights then?
Oh, honestly, that's why I asked you, because I thought you've got to. I wished you'd have been there, because I've been to a couple at the arena, particularly where it comes on, and it's one of the most mental. I mean, I would like to be anybody from. If you're from anywhere else but Leeds, you must literally think, "What am I doing here?" Because I'm friendly with a boxer called Jamie Moore from Manchester, who's a Man United fan from Salford. And him and a press guy and a guy who I know took photographs at the boxing with ringside. None of them are Leeds fans. And Jamie Moore said it's the most frightened I've ever been. He's a tough old lad from Salford. He went, it's the most frightened I've ever been. There were beer getting thrown everywhere. And this photographer, the guy on the plinth at the side of the ring, who was doing the sort of camera angles on this plinth at the side of the ring, who was from London, turned around to my mate who was a photographer and went, is this normal? my mate went, yeah, it's fine, yeah. And all of a sudden, a pint glass full of beer hit the ring and went poof, and exploded everywhere. And he was like, oh my God, but it's one of the most mental atmospheres, and I've been in a few I've ever been in. It's absolutely superb, and it's just proper Leeds. It just feels like an event.
It's not like that at the football, is it? It's always
no.
singing it.
I think because people anticipate Josh coming out and the build up to it and the marching on together, and then that kicks in. It's just a proper Leeds thing, and it just goes. The place goes up, mate. There's like everybody's singing it. The beers are getting chucked everywhere. It's something to behold, my friend. Yeah, you'd love it.
Yeah. Fights are always really late at night as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like it's always the main event as well. So you have to, there's all these preliminary fights. So you're getting progressively drunker and drunker and drunker. It's like if there was if there was a Leeds game, but it started at like midnight or whatever, and before then it was like Halifax played and they were the warm-up act.
The worst thing is, Donny, though, there usually is. So there's a Leeds game on the Saturday. You go to that, you have a drink through the day. You have a few drinks waiting for the fights to start. The undercard's on. Josh didn't come on till 10 o'clock, 10:15. So you have been at it all day. So some of the lyrics in I Predict a Riot are quite...
There's quite a lot of fighting. There's a lot of fighting in the actual arena, isn't there?
It's sort of like, apparently, somebody I know, sort of like city centre management, says the stats for like violence after a Josh Warrington fight, that's when he wins. So God bless if he'd ever lost or when crowds were allowed in.
Yeah.
But that thing about going to a taxi, where back in the 80s that used to happen quite a lot, where you'd be queuing for a taxi and a big dust up would start in the taxi queue. I think that's probably that happens when after Josh Warrington's fought a few times. So.
Yeah.
I was going to ask
Nick, not that you're encouraging it, Nick. I'm sure.
I'm not. No.
What's your craziest rock and roll story?
I'm sad to say that I've been asked this quite a bit over the years, and I do not have a go-to one, and I'm sorry to say that.
Can you go to the one that you haven't told anybody else and that that keeps you up at night?
No, I'm thankful there's none of those. I don't know. I really don't know. I've
Come
forgotten
on,
a lot
Nick. Don't leave it to your memoirs. Get it out now.
I should do. My memoirs were boring. It's hard to remember because basically there was a time in about 2005 to 2010 where it was like if one of those things that happened to us in 1 year happened to me now, it would be like the best thing that's ever happened to me. But we would have one of those every day. And so our life was just mad. It was constantly mad.
Yeah.
Like, I saw someone sent me a video the other day, one of the band, it's a few months ago actually, of us going, and I'd forgotten this, by the way. We're going, I'm in it. I'm in the back of a limo. We're all in the back of a limo in New York with our heads out of the sunroof going through New York. Someone's filming it. I've forgotten that. And that would be, honestly, if that happened to me now, I'd never stop going on about it. And that was literally stuff that would happen every day. And so I can't recall one thing that was good. Apart from that.
A bit like the 90s, where they say if you were really there, you don't remember any of it.
Yeah. I thought that was the 60s as it's moved.
It depends where you brought up.
Yeah.
Right. Do you have a favourite moment then?
Yeah, going through New York favourite moment. I once sold my drums to David Letterman. That was fun. Stuff like that. So he goes, all right, there's a little video on YouTube and it's a 5-minute video and it's him it's tiny little cuts of him asking every single drummer that comes on the show, are these your drums? Are these your drums? Are these a rental? Are these your drums?
Right.
And he loves drums.
Yeah.
So we've played that show a few times, but I knew I was leaving the band and I had a kit in America that lived in America. And I said, he said this thing, hey, are they your drums? I said, yeah. Do you want them? I'm selling them. And he said, yeah. I was like, okay, that was an easy sell. And then literally he said, get my people to talk to your people as he walked off. The classic line. And I did. And we just left them in the studio and he sent me a check.
I love Letterman. He was an oddball. I was really sad when that ended, when his show ended.
Yeah, it was a great show, really fun. And he's grown the long beard. He's done that thing where you age yourself by like 50 years.
Right. Yeah. Go off to a little cabin in the woods.
Yeah. He's still good though.
Yeah. Brilliant TV. And the little bald guy.
Paul Schaefer,
there you go. And he had his top 10. Yeah, it was fantastic.
It was good.
Inspirational.
I liked all those shows. Leno, we did that. He was good. Hey, lads. That's what he used to say. Because we did it a few times, yeah. Hey, lads. And I think he was putting on this lads thing. And he introduced me to a phrase, when you're wearing double denim, he called it the Canadian tuxedo. That was good.
Nice. Okay. Favorite moment as a Leeds fan, then? Favorite memory from Leeds?
Well, isn't it strange? Because that would last summer would have probably been it.
Yeah.
I remember. So the two promotions, I remember, you got League One. Obviously, that was a game, and I can never remember whether it was City or Rovers. I think it was City.
Rovers.
You see?
Yeah.
Gradle. The whole thing was a story, like a total movie script, because you got Beckford being captain for the one and only time, and everyone was like, okay, he's off. Gradle getting sent off, wouldn't leave the pitch.
Yeah.
Going down, I think we were 1-0 down, and what was it, 2-1? It's hard to remember, but
yeah.
I mean, it was just absolute ecstasy, wasn't it? In the ground, you couldn't, and that was only League One to the Championship. So that is probably my favourite memory. the going up this time in the summer was good, but it was when Huddersfield were playing that we actually got promoted, wasn't it? Do you remember?
Yeah.
And so it slowly started to look like they were gonna, I think they were drawing. And when they scored late, Huddersfield scored, and I suddenly, oh my God, right, I've got to get on FaceTime, and I tried to get hold of as many friends as I could, and I was literally in tears on the FaceTime with like my brother and some others. It's a weird experience though, because that would have been like one of the best times ever. So those two and Manu.
1-0. 1-0, I'm guessing.
The 1-0.
At Old Trafford.
Not the 6-2.
No. Or the 2-1 in 94. One of my favourite memories. Okay, so a couple of things to ask you then. So 2 more questions, basically, from me. Ewan and Barney, do you have anything you want to ask the man?
Hey, is that Barney from the internet?
It is, yeah.
I didn't recognise. As soon as I saw you, I recognised you. But then it says your name's Katie Barnett, and I was like, okay, it's definitely not.
It's not.
And there it's Barney. Hi, Barney.
Hi. You all right?
Yeah, good.
Is there anything you want to ask Barney, Nick?
Yeah. Do you want to ask Barney about his food?
Yeah. Why he calls himself Katie, and why have you not got your wig and your mask on tonight, Barney?
Yeah. Why he likes
Katie.
lilac?
Well, it's Tuesday, isn't it? I'm not going to get dressed up on a Tuesday night.
Fair point.
Right. So I wanted to ask you one thing about Leeds. How do you think the rest of the season will go? How do you think we'll go against Man City?
Oh, well, I'm a very positive person, and I always assume that we're going to win.
Get in there, Nick.
And so I never, ever go in thinking we're going to lose. I think possibly we might draw. But no, I don't even think I do that. I just think we're going to win. I think we're going to beat Man City, Liverpool, and Man United, and then Tottenham.
Good lad.
And I think it's really odd that there's 28 points to play for. I don't know whether we've got 24, I think, to play for.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's weird because Sheffield United could not, they could get 38 points or something and survive. You can't see it. But we could do anything because we've got these, what are we on now? 42 plus 24.
Yep, 66.
Is it 66?
We're winning the World Cup.
We could.
And the Grand National.
We'll get promoted this year, guys.
To the Europa Conference.
Yeah. To the Super League.
And you've won a sunny trip to Bucharest.
Yeah, I'm not into the Europa. I think that would be a disaster for us. I think I'm happy to finish above Arsenal, above 10th. I think 10th, anywhere between 10th and Europa, because Europa is not for us this time. We've got too small a squad and too many journeys.
Yeah. You don't fancy Lokomotiv Moscow on a Thursday night?
I mean, I'd love to watch it and everything, but it's a bit like the the international break, and you'd be like watching. See, I was disappointed that there was no call up for Bamford and Ayling, but I was also thinking, well, they won't get injured.
Exactly what I said.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think between 10th and Europa.
Okay, and your music then? Is there going to be more in this kind of punk? Punk.
I like it
style.
I'm someone who changes their mind all the time, which is one of the reasons I had to put that song out, because I just would have changed my mind and not done it, and then I would have regretted not doing it. So I think I will do. Yeah, I wrote a couple more, but I didn't love them as much, and I think you've got to trust your instincts. And I'm not someone who, if I was 20, my life, it'd be a very different thing. I'd be focused 100,000,000% on being, the next song and putting it out and what we're going to do, and getting 100% obsessed about the band and my music life and everything. I mean, putting music out myself. But I'm 43 and I'm happy to just put music out when the inspiration hits me. I think if I did an album now, I think it wouldn't be as inspired as as what it actually needs to be. To put something out, that song I just put out last week was inspired. Whether you like it or you hate it, I can't deny that it was inspired because it happened, and I didn't. My best stuff I've ever done is when I do it and I don't know what happened, and that was one of those. Where it comes from, I don't know. Like, if you try too hard on a song, then you got no chance. You just make a normal song.
I feel like Rafinha is similar. Like,
I know what you mean.
You know?
Yeah. Although I don't pull my shorts up like that, but I would.
Yeah, rascal, get your rascal shorts on and make a song.
Yeah, he is quite inspiring like that.
The comparison is when you hit a volley clean.
Yeah.
You don't feel it and you don't see it leave your foot. You literally see it as it's about to, go into the back of the net. That's the first time you feel it and see it. So it's probably the same for writing a song, I guess, to equate it to football parlance.
When you do a 360 flick and end Cahill's career, you don't notice it either.
Well, and like say the other day, I had a little piece of banana, and I threw it. I said to my wife and my daughter, I said, "Look at this, watch this," because I knew I was going to do it. I threw it up in the air, and I caught it in my mouth, and it hit the ceiling, and it went in my mouth. And I said to my wife, I knew I was going to do that. I was in a state of flow.
Flow.
You know when you do you do a strike in bowling and it happens once a year, once a decade, whatever. You get a strike and you go, I knew I was going to get that.
That's flow zone.
That's the flow zone that I'm reaching for.
It's
every
where
day,
you get
it's happened 3 times in my life.
It's where you get the bowling ball and you put it between your legs and you go as far back as you can and he's back like that with the arms. Fly your arms into the air, and that's when you know you're in the
sort of
flow
holding
zone.
yourself in a cringe position, waiting for it to land and hope it doesn't split the boards.
It's like when you throw it and you walk away like Kingpin. You go, yes, like that.
Right. I think I've done that in you. You do the thing, but sometimes I do it just in case it's a strike.
Right.
And sometimes to be a bit more professional, you just blow your fingers first before you put it into that bowling ball.
Right.
I've done that.
Take your own talc, don't you, Barney?
yeah.
I find it helps if you leave them runners at the side up. I'm brilliant. I'm brilliant. You can get away with loads when you've got them up.
I think you've got your next single cover as well. You in some very short 80s shorts.
Rascal shorts.
Yeah, riding them up like Rafinha does.
I thought, and then bowling with the what do you call those things at the side in the gutters, and also around
the gullies,
the bumpers, and the ramp,
and a bit of banana in mid-air, just about to go in your mouth.
I'm going to say the album just called Banana.
Yeah,
and then when people say why was it called Banana, it's just like some inspiration that came to me.
Flow.
Yeah, it's just I didn't think about it. I just threw this banana and I just got it straight away.
What about if I call it banana in mouth?
Yeah.
There
you go.
It's started to.
It's forming. We're all inspiring you now. That's it. That's what we're
getting sexy. Yeah.
Just a bit of banana there, and then a bit of Artex just behind it.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, a bit of ceiling.
Okay. Sorry.
Decoration.
Yeah.
And so that was Nick Hodgson, ex-Kaiser chief. Thank you very much for coming along board on our podcast.
You're most welcome. I have enjoyed it. It's been the best Tuesday evening I've had for 12 months.
With your arms out of the air of a limousine in New York.
This is 2021's that.
What a feeling. Doop, 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 doop.
And you've got to stop there.
Yeah, that's it.
In case the snitches are on. Right. Bye, chaps. It's been great.
Thanks,
Nick. Love to you and the family, mate. Love to you and the family, mate.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And you all.
All the best to your little one and your wife.
Bye.
Cheers, Nick.
Cheers, mate. There we go.
You're a nice fella.
Nick Hodgson, ex-Kaiser chief.
43, man. Fucking hell, he's done well, hasn't he?
Yeah. Especially having a big rock and roll lifestyle as well.
I know.
I wouldn't be here if I'd have had that kind of money.
43.
I wouldn't know. I've been dead. Knowing me, if I'd do that outside of New York, in a taxi in New York, I'd probably fall out in it or something.
I've been reliably informed that we're on 999 subscribers.
Oh, come on.
Hey!
Get a competition out there quick.
Yeah, pop the...
Right, book that plane to New York, lads. We're off. We're off.
It'll be us in about 10 years' time getting interviewed on a podcast saying, tell us about some of your wildest moments. Well, when we got to 1,000 subscribers.
Hang on a second. How do I retire? There we go.
How do I retire to coke and hookers? Again.
Retire? 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Retire? Question mark.
Did you mean something else?
Did
Can't
you
believe
mean tired?
Barney as well. I thought when he said, "Is it Barney from the internet?" I thought you were in the band. I thought you were in the group, the internet.
The last instrument I played was a recorder at primary school.
Must have been bloody good on it if you're in the internet.
I thought that when you said I went to a gig, or the last gig I did. Gig I was at. Yeah.
Last gig I did was 1983 at such and such a primary school playing the recorder. I bet Nick would have been well impressed.
I was on the triangle. Yeah. I was in percussion too, Nick.
when you're with the triangle, the teacher's going, and you're like, ow. Like that.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Nearly. You'll get it next time, mate. Don't beat yourself up about it.
Well, the last gig I did, Nick, was my mate's band played at an open festival in Preston, and I got on stage steaming and started singing something out of UB40 over his band.
Red wine.
No, it wasn't that cheese. It was, what was it now? Drum and bass make me wind up my ways over and over again. Drum and bass make me wind up my ways. Drum and bass make me wah, 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 wah. Yeah.
Wah, 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 wah. Feel it, my rude boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting all
me and my mate were doing all that steaming, and I could see my mate looking at me on his bass going, what the fuck are you doing? You're not even supposed to be on here. Oh, dear.
The legend of the dub ragga scene.
Oh, my career lasted about 30 seconds.
Okay.
I was coming off stage and people were shaking his hands like, oh, you were great. And again, just kept looking at my mate on bass and he was like...
That's how you remember it, at least.
You cunt, yeah.
I went to a gig and I went to go watch the Dropkick Murphys, and my mate went onto the stage, and I've got a fake tooth, and I lost my tooth that night. So I text my wife saying I've lost my tooth. And she said, you better fucking find it or else. They're like 300 quid or something.
Yeah.
And then we were last ones there, and they were clearing all the plastic cups up and stuff like that. And I found it on the floor and I put it straight back.
Oh, no, you're a wrong un.
Super spreader.
No.
Super spreader.
That's why I've never got COVID. It's fine. 3 second warning, it's fine.
Oh, 3 seconds, 3.5 hour warning.
Oh, God.
Okay, Man City then. Quickly.
Ooh, quickly. Listen, anything's a bonus. Free hit. I don't like the expression free hit. I think Nick just said it, like when you're sort of saying that finishing, that's why you're probably a little bit less heated and invested in it, because finishing above Arsenal, wow, what a thing to talk about compared to where we've been over the last number of years. I think Man City is a game you just got to go out and enjoy, do what we did last time. If we can survive that first sort of 15, 20-minute onslaught and stay in the game, we've got every chance to get into something. If we don't, so what? If we do, absolutely brilliant. I mean, I think I just feel like he's one of them players, hopefully, where the big games he's going to really step up and make a difference. Llorente's been brilliant last few, since he's found his feet, got his fitness back. I think he's outstanding. Cox back. Everybody's sort of coming back to fitness and playing well. I mean, Phillips, considering he played more minutes than anybody else for England, his fitness levels are ridiculous. I mean, he was absolutely superb against Sheffield United. He was all over the place and bullying them and physically bossing them, and thought he was great. But I just think Ravina, I said it the other day, Ravina's got such good balance. He can cut his toenails while doing the tightrope, couldn't he? He's absolutely outstanding balance. And I just think he's going to hopefully turns up against City and runs riot, because they won't have faced a player like him thus far in the season. So I've got every hope we'll get something, but if we don't enjoy the games, because we could be playing, like you say, Rotherham away, just enjoy it, get on with it, and good luck to the team. I hope they do themselves proud.
Felt like he showed that quality against the top team when we played Everton, and he just pulled that goal out of nowhere. He just took that game by the scruff of his neck, and he was like, I'm going to have to do this myself. Okay, Barney, Man City?
I'm looking really forward to it. We've already spoken about it in the match review. They said that it's probably the worst time. Pep's already said it's the worst time to play Leeds in between the Champions League campaign. I think we're a different team from when we last played them. We've got more experience now in the Premier League, but also Man City are completely different teams to when we played them, because they were struggling a little bit, weren't they, at the start of the season? So yeah. I think it's good. I mean, Gary Neville said that was probably one of the best Premier League games I've seen ever. So I think we're going to have an absolute blinding game again. And it's just going to be end-to-end stuff, high-intensity stuff. But at the end of the day, Bielsa's the master in this against his what's the word you would say?
Understudy,
yeah. So I think...
Protégé, yeah.
Apprentice.
So I think...
Protege.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a fantastic game, and it's just going to be... It's what football should be all about. It's just going to be end-to-end stuff. It's not... No, there's not going to be any sort of shithousing or anything like that. I'm looking forward to it. I don't think we'll lose it. I'm going to say that. We're not going to lose.
Wow.
Like the confidence.
Loving the confidence there, Barney.
That's a good point, though, Barney, about the teams like Chelsea played in the Champions League, I think, just after we played them, and seemed to change the squad around, and it seemed particularly looked a bit lethargic. So I think it was in between Champions League games. So as much as they've got super squads and they've spent millions and millions of pounds, there still seemed to be a little bit of a hangover and a sort of an effect on a game in the Champions League coming up as well. So let's hope it plays into our hands here.
For me, I'm not confident against City. I wasn't the first time. And
you're no right to be, though, Donny, to be fair.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And that's it. We don't have to be, and there's no need for it. I know what you mean when you say I don't like the free hit phrase, but it really is. It doesn't matter. If we lose against City, if we lost 5-0, it wouldn't matter. So yeah, we've got everything to play for, nothing to lose. We're completely safe, and I think that actually plays into our hands.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
We said it before, though, didn't we? That these are the games you enjoy, and if we're actually safe when we get to them, we can just go and have a go. We're not worried about looking behind us or getting something out of the game. We can just go and have a proper go, and that's when we'll be our most dangerous. So, lose graciously to City, go and knock pony out of Man United. Just do it. First season back, get a result at Man United. That'd make the season.
Oh yes,
perfect, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah.
I think for me, one final point from me, I think that obviously Bielsa looks forward to every game, but these are the sort of games he really gets. He's like, he just loves it. And you could see it when we last played him. He had a little smile at the end of the game. He was watching it as a spectator as well, not just a coach. And these are the sort of games he's really going to look forward to.
Okay. 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're big. We're in the big leagues now, boys.
Can't speak. Is that excited?
Hey, look at us now. Look at us now.
Look at us now, yeah. All you people who doubted us.
Yeah. Same people who were booing Cooper, look at him, and now look at us.
Yeah.
You bastards.
League One Peacocks.
Just put me check in post, Donny.
Right. So that was your main cast. We dissected Heckingbottom. We trashed KitGate. We spoke with Stats and Nick Hodgson. And we're looking forward to Man City, Liverpool, and Scum. So if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at Peacock's Raw. If you want to become one of the 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, It's the Roaring Peacock. And my name's Adonis. You can follow me at the Adelites on Twitter. It's a very good bye from me. And Barney ____21 is the Twitter tag you need to find for all of your culinary delights.
Bye from me.
And
just start calling him Barney from the internet now.
Right, Barney from the
you
internet.
You Barney from the internet.
I love that.
Like I'm meant to be someone famous.
Tell you, mate.
You should change your Twitter helm, your Twitter name, not the @ but
yeah,
the underscores are just so funny. But
I need to get a blue tick now, don't I?
Yeah,
Barney from internet. Internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that could work. Okay, Ewan, have we thought of anything?
Oh, not this every week.
No. Nickname?
What a nickname? Oh, I don't know. Fucking hell. No, I haven't. No, I'm not.
Big Mac?
It's not taking up. Oh, less of the big man. I put a bit of timber on. I weighed myself yesterday at my mum's, and it's like I weigh twice as much as my wife and 4 times as much as my son.
Okay. Slim Mac then.
Fucking not good.
The return of the Mac.
Yeah,
Right.
Fat boy Slim.
The return of the Mac.
Mac
Fat
boy.
Fat Mac.
Yeah.
Fat Mac.
Oh dear. I can't call you that. We still haven't found it. I'm just going to say Ewan. So you can follow Ewan at Ewan Metcalf.
You can. You'll be blown away by the content.
Right.
Now we've got 1,000 subscribers to like live up to. I'm going to start singing. Where were you when we were shit?
Right.
Where were you when we were shit?
And they will reply, "We're here."
Yeah, we're still watching you, waiting for you to say something amusing or
Right.
interesting. You
Still waiting for you to not be shit.
yeah, exactly. Shit's where we put ourselves. Leave us alone. We're perfectly comfortable in shit, like pigs.
Right. So that was the podcast then. See you soon.
See ya.
Lovely.
All right. Well, that's just about all we have time for. So Nick, do you want to introduce your
Of
song?
course. Yeah. What's it called? This is a song that I wrote a few weeks ago, and it's out, and I'm really happy with it. It's called "This Is How I Feel Right Now." This is how I feel right now. This is how I feel right now. I wanna go out at night. I wanna see someone and wear something nice. I'm sentimental for the silliest things. Can't touch my face after a beat on the swings. I'd like to call you out of your day. Living interesting down a quarter to 8. I like the simple things but not like this. I wanna say goodnight to you with a kiss. Gotta get out. Gotta get out. Gotta get out. Gotta get out. Gotta get out of here right now. This is how I feel right now. This is how I feel right now. This is how I feel right. This is how I feel right now. I wanna blow out a night. Eat in a restaurant with friends inside. Light a candle on a birthday cake. And blow them out like when I was 8. This is how I feel right now. This is how I feel right now. This is how I feel right. This is how I feel. This is how I feel right. This is how I feel right. Gotta get out. Gotta get out. Gotta get out. Gotta get out of here right now. This is how I feel 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 right now. Gotta get out of here.
Most of our stats come from LUFC Stats or LUFC Data on Twitter. A very special thanks to Barney Stewart Cook, Ewan and Howard Metcalf, Josh Pearson, Laura, Leon and Rob, The Light Show and all our family and friends.
So many games to play, don't care what's on your mind.